Alright guys, so here we're going to get started, and as I told you, we're going to do sudado. Sudado as the ingredients, I'll have them listed down in the description box, but here we're starting off with the carrots. Then we'll have a few potatoes. We use onions, tomatoes, cilantro, and chicken. So here I'm getting ready to peel my carrots. I'm going to give it in a few minutes, a few seconds of rough chop. And I'm getting ready to prepare a what we call un aliño. Aliños is like the base of mainly many of our dishes in Colombia. We use it in soups or in stews like this one. It just gives it a nice kind of like beginning or base for the meal. It gives it a nice flavor. It's based on the carrots, onions, and cilantro. Sometimes you, depending on the meal, sometimes you'll put even red peppers or green onions as well. So it just depends on preference. In this case, I'm just going to be using the carrots, the white onions, and a little bit of cilantro. And from the cilantro, just grab a little bit, just a bunch. You don't have to do really anything to it. I've already pre-washed it, so it's ready to go. So I'm going to stick it in there, and I'm going to cover it up. But before, I'm going to put a little bit of water. And I think I'm going to be off camera, so I'm sorry. I didn't make sure I was on the camera, but I just put it halfway, filled up with water, and just put it on the blender. Now, while that goes, I'm going to be cutting this carrot. Now, this one is going to actually go on the stew. The carrots I'm going to cut like maybe 2 inches, 2.5 inches long, and then cut it the long way by the middle. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to grab the chicken, get it ready and seasoned. So I'm getting my pot here ready. Clear up the table a little bit. Now what I'm going to use here to season my meat is, it's called adobo. It's like it's all all-purpose seasoning. You can use any brand. I like using Goya. In this case, I had another brand, but it doesn't really matter. It's an all-purpose seasoning, so it's really any brand is fine. So I'm gonna put them face down, just so I can season the other side. And I'm also gonna be using a little bit of paprika, just to give it a little kick in color. And you know, paprika is always nice. I loved using paprika in all my meals. So here you go. I just stuffed them in there, nice and tight. Once they become a little more tender and cooked, they'll kind of shrink a little bit. So it's fine. We'll make room for the potatoes and the carrots. Okay, now after this, I'm going to be putting the aliño inside or on top of the chicken. Just pour it all on top. Try to cover it all. Now that little bit that's left in the bottle or in the container, I'm just going to grab a little bit of water and just whisk it around, like shake it, and try to get all that little excess. Let's not let anything go to waste. There we go. Now let's put this baby on the stove. Let me clear this up a little bit. And all right, I'm just getting some things put away. Now I got the ketchup. I like putting ketchup in this meal. I think it gives it a little bit of more flavor, and I like the kick that it gives. So it's up to you, it's preference, but I like ketchup in this, and I just kind of eyeball it. Not really any specific kind of measurement, but I just kind of eyeball it. I think it's maybe like 2 tablespoons of the ketchup. So I'm gonna cover this up. I put it on medium to high heat. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. And meanwhile, I'm gonna get the potatoes peeled and chopped. Again, I'm gonna get these chopped, like maybe 2 or 3 pieces, depending on the size of the potato. But these potatoes can give me 3 pieces. I'll just cut them in 3. Usually in these meals we serve each person with like 2 pieces of potato, maybe 1 of carrots or 2 as well, and then the piece of chicken. And it's usually served with rice and maybe salad. So I think this is enough of potatoes for how many people I have in my family or joining me for dinner today. So that was enough for me, but you can account for maybe 1 potato per person, and that way you'll have a little bit extra. Alright, I have this leftover carrot from the Aliños, so I'm just gonna finish peeling it and I'll cut it as well. Let me clear this container. And I'm gonna give it a quick rinse so I can put all my chopped vegetables in there. Now, as I'm chopping this, let me ask you guys, where are you from? Are you familiar with this plate? Have you ever tried cooking Colombian food? I would love to hear from you guys. This is the first time I'm on YouTube, and I'm kind of shy today, so I'm so sorry, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. I really enjoy these type of things. I like cooking. I like everything that has to do with home, basically, but I'm also an entrepreneur, so I'm a multitasker. I like to be here and there, but I try to do things in the house as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this type of videos, and let me know what you would like to see. I'm gonna be doing several type of videos, not only cooking but also house organizing and DIYs. I love doing manual arts and crafts. And also, I have a business that does taxes, so I'll be doing a little bit of finances on the side in case you are interested in learning a little bit more of finances and taxes. So let me know what you are interested in, and maybe it'll be easier for me to create some interesting content for you guys. So here I'm taking my other half of the onion, the full onion, and I'm chopping it in little slices. I cut it halfway, and then each half I sliced, and I'm gonna put that on top of the chicken, and that will kind of caramelize inside, cooking with the chicken. It gives it really nice flavor when you do that, when you put onions and tomatoes, which I'll put in a little bit. I put the tomatoes later just because the tomatoes, they cook a little faster. So I would like the onions to cook a little bit more before I add the tomatoes. Okay, I'm cleaning up a little bit. As I told you, I like to keep my surface clean. I like to, as I'm cooking. I think I don't know. I'm just used to it. So I'm going to put everything away. And we're going to give it a few minutes so it can cook. And then we'll come back. But meanwhile, I'm going to also do the rice. The rice cooks really fast, so I'm just going to do jasmine rice. And I do 2 cups of rice, and that little cup that I'm using is my measurement. So 2 of those cups by 3 of water. Other rice is usually 1 to 2 ratio, but in this case we're doing the 2 of rice for 3 and just a pinch more of water. Alright, so here goes the little tiny bit more. And then I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, just a little, and then some salt. Now, salt is of preference, so whatever you like. If you don't like salt in the rice, you don't have to put it in. I personally like, and my family as well. And I'm going to stir it here in a little bit. I'm just going to dry this little cup up and put it back in the rice, put it away. Now I'm going to kind of stir this rice so it doesn't like stick, and I'll get it ready to start, plug it in. Alright, and let's leave this baby to cook. Okay, I'm putting these things away so they're not in my way. So I'm gonna let this cook for a little bit, and then I'll come back to you guys. Now I would like to ask you if you don't mind subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification bell. I would greatly appreciate all your help in helping my channel. Again, I'm new in the YouTube world, but I have been wanting to do this for the longest time. I was just kind of like, I don't know, afraid or shy to do it, if I'm going to be honest. So here I'm going to chop the onions. Just a rough chop. It doesn't have to be finely chopped or very big. It's up to you, really. So I just happen to have 2 tomatoes left. So that's pretty much enough. But again, it's up to you. If you want a little more, you can add maybe 1 more. It dissolves a lot. It kind of becomes like a little sauce along with the onion. So it's up to you if you want to use a little bit more. Alright, here we go. So that's all set. Alright, and here we're just going to leave it a little bit to cook and do its thing, and then we'll come back and give you a sneak peek of what it's looking like. Doesn't that look delicious? Well, it's going to look better in a few minutes, but it already smells delicious, I can tell you that. So now I'm coming back while it's still cooking, and I'm still going to make time for that or leave it a little bit more. You would like to simmer that for about maybe 15 minutes or so, just to get the chicken cooked. And then I'll go ahead and turn it over. But meanwhile, I just, do other things to kill time. sometimes you don't have that much time after work. You have to do multitasking here. So I'm just gonna wash these dishes while if this finish cooking, and I'll come right back. Nice and clear and soft. So I'm gonna turn around these chicken thighs and have them cook on the other side. Although they cook evenly, it doesn't matter if they're on one side, but just in case they start getting brown, I want it to be on both sides. You see some of them have a little brownish color to it, so I want it to be on both sides. I think it looks nicer that way. Okay, now I'm gonna pour in the potatoes and the carrots. Sometimes, depending on the carrots, if they're too big, I would put the carrots first and then the potatoes. But since I chopped them pretty thin, I think it's fine. So I'm gonna put them together this time. And they should be fine. So I'm kind of like putting them in, trying to get them soaked in a little bit of the liquid. It doesn't have to be covered all the way, but because the steam will cook it anyway. So I'm going to add the tomatoes on top. I'll spread them all out as evenly as I can. All right, now I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to leave it about maybe 5 to 10 minutes more. And I'm going to lower the heat a little bit, so I'm going to put it between low to medium. right, here we go. Oh my God, this smells amazing. So I'm just giving it a little bit of a stir, trying to move everything in there and kind of get everyone in the liquid. All right, now I'm just getting a fork to see how tender the potatoes are, just to see, and the carrots as well, just to see if it's ready or not. So I think it's good right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it just a few seconds because it's about done. So it should be ready just in a minute or two. So I'm going to stir the rice, kind of fluff it up. It's already done. I'll fluff it up, and just to kind of try to get the rice not to be all sticky. I feel like I don't know, it gives a better texture that way, I think. I'm not sure if it does anything in particular, but I like fluffing it. So here you go. This is how we serve it, or I serve it. Some rice, the 2 potatoes, the carrots, the piece of chicken, and I put a little bit of sauce on top of the rice, and I think it looks nice and it tastes amazing. Very heartwarming. It's a good dinner for any day, honestly. So I hope you enjoy it, and hope you take the chance to try it yourself. It's not a hard meal to do, and I promise you will love it. So thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you soon.